My name is Vyson. I come from a very famous family in the city of Nagitta. After the death of my mom Lori, my grandfather Dave and my grandmother Line wanted me to live with them in Nagitta Castle.
Ence, este es el momento adecuado para dejar que Vyson viva en el castillo de sus antepasados. Eso le ayudará a llenar el vacío dejado por la pérdida de su madre.
But my father Ence objected.
I refuse to let Vyson live in this castle. Do not forget that grandmother was poisoned in this castle by one of the servants.
Over time, I found a friend who became like a brother to me. His name was Andry. One day, while in the castle, my grandfather Dave told us a nice story. The story was called The Third Stranger. According to my grandfather, this story is our historical heritage, so it must be passed from father to son. This morning, before leaving for the goat and demo market, I promised my son Juni Desing that when I go back from my trip, I would tell him this story. Unfortunately, things did not turn out the way I imagined. My friend Andry, with whom I spent the night together in the inn of Tazo, had just been killed by someone I don't know. Whoever killed him blamed me by putting the murder weapon in my travel bag. That makes me the killer. Today, if there is one person who is in the best position to tell this story, Tazo, the third stranger to my son Juni Desing, it is surely my wife Oki.
Previously on the adventure of Vyson.
Molage? Where are you, Molage? Molage?
Yes, madam. I am washing your clothes.
Molage, come on.
Madam, what is going on?
Molage, I'm pregnant and scared.
It's normal, madam. I'm also afraid for the baby.
Do you think that will spare this baby?
It is my wish. This curse must end someday.
Please, Mrs. Real, what did my wife give birth to?
An adorable twins, 2 boys.
Rory, where are you, darling?
I'm here. Are the children okay?
No, darling, I'm sorry. It happened again.
What happened again?
Lord Gary, I am so sorry. The twin boys have passed away.
Oh my God. When will this cycle end? Since our marriage, we have had twins, children on several occasions, but death took them all away. What is the use because of having all these photos.
Lord Ravi, I am so sorry. You are a good person. I don't know why this is happening to you.
Molash, you are not for nothing.
My lord, how do you now still organize the funeral of the two boys?
Hell sent one of the guards to call the famous carpenter Honor.
At your command, Lord Rory.
So if I understand correctly, this is our family curse?
Exactly, my son. But fortunately, this curse no longer exists.
So why did we keep this story as our historical heritage?
We have kept this story as our historical heritage because it is very important to know where we come from, the mistakes of our ancestors. It is good to know them. It will help you not fall into the same trap as them.
How will this story come to an end?
My son, this story will one day be changed. Perhaps by the adventure of Vyson. Who knows?
Why?
Before the story of the third stranger, our ancestors had a nice story. They call it City of Gold.
The City of Gold? Is it the basis of our wealth?
Of course, yes, my son.
All right. But Father, for the meantime, I want to know how will the third stranger story come to an end, and why do we name this story the third stranger? It should be Legend of Lord Rari or the Curse of Lord Rari, something like that.
Alright, my son, I have to go.
No, Father, I want to know everything right now.
My son, if you're in a hurry, then go to your mom, Oki. She knows the story.
Father, Dad.
In the morning, he called her wife and told her,
Honey, wake up. I have to tell you something.
Okay, tell me.
Do you remember my father?
Yes. My grandmother Edict once told me about him. A gold and diamond merchant who killed his friend.
I do not think he was the real culprit. He was trapped by someone.
Can you prove it?
No, but I believe it.
My love, I think we have to sleep. I was 2 years old when your father was in prison in Dallas.
You are right. At that time, I was 5 years old, and it's been 30 years since my father was there.
It's true. I'm so sorry about it, my love.
Don't worry. I remember my last discussion with my dad before his departure for the gold and diamond market. He had promised to tell me some story, and in my dream at night, when I saw him, he remembered me of that story. He sent me to go and see my mother, and she will tell me everything about that story.
I think you have to go to your mother's house this morning.
That's why I woke you up. I have to go.
Okay, my love.
After an hour off the road, Juni arrived at his mother's house. Oki was so happy to see her son. After hugging him, they went to the dining room for breakfast.
Juni, is everything okay?
No, mother. I had a dream last night that really terrified me.
Is it about your dad?
Yes, that's why I am here. Please, Mom, do you know the story of the third stranger?
Yes. Your father once told me that story.
Father had promised to tell me this story just before his departure for the gold and diamond market. Unfortunately, things did not turn out the way I imagined. He was arrested for murdering his friend Andry. Mother, you know everything about that painful event already. If I'm here today, it's because of my dream. Last night I had a dream in which I saw some part of our history. The story of the third stranger. Everything seemed to be real until I woke up. Unfortunately, I don't remember much of this story except this word from Daddy. My son, if you are in a hurry, then go to your mom, Oki. She knows the story. That's all I remember about the dream.
Juni, your father is right. The story of the third stranger is part of your historical legacy.
Really? Please tell me.
Once upon a time, there was a pretty castle in the city of Nagitta. The castle was so pretty that you couldn't stop admiring it. The owner of this castle was Rari and his wife was Loria. The castle has belonged to Rari's ancestors for several decades. Formerly, the ancestors of Rari lived in Kra, in the city of gold. According to legend, after each rain, the lands of the city shone incessantly. Rari's great-great-grandfather and his gang at the time loved to go to the Gold Coast to collect gold. Almost everyone in their city had their own golden fortress. Until that time, that the pillagers came from Valera, a distant land, invaded their lands, seized their wealth, and reduced their city to nothing. According to legend, one of Rari's grandparents, named Nagitta, in turn went to assemble a band of 7 people and went to Valera to steal in their turn the gold that was stolen from his people without leaving the slightest trace. For several generations, this story had been passed down from father to son. Rari's father told him this story when Rari was 12 years old. Rari knew this story well, and he in return had to pass it on to his heir. Besides this story, Rari was so rich that his reputation went with him everywhere he went. He had fields, servants, houses, horses, keepers, gold, diamonds, camels. He had no equal in the lands of the 7 cities. Rari passed everyone in fortune. Even the fortunes of the 7 kings of the 7 cities did not equal him. Unfortunately, he only had one problem. The famous Rari and his wife Loria had no children. They had children, twin boys and twin girls, but none of them survived death. Barely 1 to 2 years death had taken them away. It was a real nightmare for Rari and Loria.